Someone recently posted a comment to my 11 gifts you can make for free with scrap wood video saying, "Can't help but notice the $10,000 worth of tools you're using," which surprised me because my workshop is tiny, only 12 by 13, and modestly equipped compared to other YouTube channels. Plus, my goal has always been to inspire you with beginner-friendly projects you can make using basic tools. So that's what I'll prove in this video. I'm counting down 9 of my favorite projects you can make with one saw. The affordable, easy-to-use miter saw. Hey there, I'm Scott. Thank you for stopping by. I'm the owner of sawsonskates.com, where I share easy woodworking plans and space-saving workshop solutions. Are your little ones dreaming of backyard tea parties? Turn those dreams into reality in just an afternoon with a charming kid-sized picnic table, the perfect spot for laughter, snacks, and memories that will last a lifetime. I used a sliding miter saw to cut pine 2x4s to make my picnic table, but you can use a budget-friendly non-sliding one instead. Pine is affordable, but it's not rot-resistant. I recommend applying a protective finish like paint or spar urethane to extend its lifespan. For additional protection, consider placing your pine table on a covered porch and storing it indoors during the off-season. Even though the chemicals used for pressure-treated lumber these days are supposedly less toxic, I prefer not to use them for my outdoor furniture projects. If you use pine, the legs will rot the quickest, because they will absorb moisture from the ground. So, you might consider using pressure-treated lumber for the legs and making the table's seating and eating surfaces with pine. One of the things I love about woodworking is that there are usually several ways to tackle a challenge. The 2x4s have round edges, but the cut edges are square and sharp, which could be a safety hazard for kiddos. To make them safer and give the project a finished look, I rounded them using a router and a roundover bit. You can smooth the edges with sandpaper if you don't have a router. I'll leave a link for the kids' picnic table plan in the description box. Are your benchtop tools sitting on your workshop's floor or taking up valuable space on your workbench? Give them a permanent home with an easy-to-make power tool stand. In a couple videos, I've mentioned that I volunteer at a local historical society. Several of my plans have been inspired by pieces that I've seen at the museum or ideas from my fellow volunteers. This time, I was inspired by an antique saw sharpener in our carriage barn. We were planning to do some restoration work on it, but the base for the sharpener was missing, so it was sitting on 2 old rickety sawhorses. We needed a sturdy stand so that we could safely do the restoration work. I looked around for an antique one, but couldn't find anything that fit. So instead, I decided to make my own tool stand. The small size makes it perfect for a workshop, garage, or shed shop. While I demonstrated this project with my scroll saw that I got used from the Habitat for Humanity Restore, you could use it for benchtop tools such as a lathe, drill press, planer, table saw, miter saw, and more. As a bonus, there's space to add a shelf below for more storage. I'll leave a link for the tool stand plan in the description box. In 2020, a friend texted me saying he needed a simple piece of furniture that could serve as a desk while he worked from home and a table when he returned to the office. He said it didn't even need to have drawers. His description reminded me of a vintage library table, which inspired this simple DIY desk. This versatile project fits just about anywhere from a home office to kitchens, dining rooms, or entryways. You could even use it as a serving table at parties, for making crafts, or as a makeup vanity. Plus, it's simple to build, requiring only a few straight cuts you can make using a miter saw. I used common pine for the desk's base and select pine to make the top. The difference between common and select pine is that common usually has some knots, while select is relatively knot-free. Speaking of the top, it's important to consider its movement. Wood expands and contracts with changes in humidity and temperature. To prevent damage, the top should be attached in a way that allows it to move with these changes. For that reason, I don't recommend connecting a top to a table's aprons or legs with pocket holes because it can restrict its movement, potentially causing cracks with seasonal changes. Instead, I use tabletop fasteners or expansion brackets that allow the top to move freely with humidity and temperature changes. I'll leave a link for the desk plan in the description box. If you're looking for a project to make your workshop more organized and efficient, look no further than this workshop utility cart. It's perfect for storing your tools and supplies, making workshop projects a breeze. It's excellent as a mobile workbench, assembly table, work table to apply paints and stains, or portable stand for tools such as a miter saw or scroll saw. Plus, the bottom shelf is a fantastic place to store your small tools and other workshop supplies. The cart's design is the perfect balance of speed and simplicity. All that's required is making 4 simple frames and then joining them together. I designed this cart so that you can make it with pine boards and 2 small sheets of plywood. I opted for these materials because they're readily available at most home improvement stores, are easy to work with in a small shop, and can be transported in most cars. For the best results, I recommend carefully inspecting the plywood before you buy it. You'll want to make sure it is straight, flat, and free of defects. Also, I didn't cut the plywood, so the sheets must be the same size and shape for the cart to fit together correctly. I looked through my home improvement store's pile of plywood and found 3 of the best sheets. When I compared them, one was cut crooked, but the other 2 were square, so I chose them for my project. I kept mine basic, but you can customize your project to meet your needs. If you plan to move your cart frequently, you might want to consider adding handles. One thing I would have done differently is to add a middle shelf, which would divide the storage area into 2 sections, giving me more flexibility when organizing my tools. I'll leave a link for the utility cart in the description box. Tired of ordinary picture frames? Glam up your home decor with this unique tabletop photo holder inspired by tilting Art Deco-style frames of the 1920s and 30s. This adjustable frame swivels for easy viewing from different angles. With just a few pieces of wood and simple cuts made with a miter saw, you can create a beautiful and functional frame for your favorite photos. I had some leftover pieces of cherry wood in my scrap wood pile, so I decided to use them for this project. I planned to apply a clear finish. However, a friend fell in love with the frame, but not the wood's color. It broke my heart, but I painted over that beautiful wood. I'll leave a link for the tabletop picture frame in the description box. In a few tutorials, I mentioned that a buddy of mine owns several vacation rentals in a ski town. He swears by DIY solutions to help keep his properties organized and stay on budget. So when he wanted somewhere for guests to store their boots, I put pencil to paper and started sketching. Well, I actually used my computer, but you get the idea. What I came up with was a simple, functional storage solution with space for 4 pairs of boots. The best part is it's super easy to build with a miter saw and a drill. You can customize your boot rack to better suit your style and needs. Here are a few ideas. I designed the project to store 4 pairs of boots, but you could adjust the dimensions to accommodate more or less pairs. Just adjust the length of the cuts and the number of holders if you change the width. The screws on the tops of the stretchers are exposed, but you could use a plug cutter to hide them if you want a more polished look. Just use a Forstner bit to drill holes, insert the plugs, and trim them to length with a flush cut saw. If you have a router, you could add some decorative details to create rounded edges on the boards. I'll leave a link for the boot rack in the description box. Need a spot in your entryway to remove your shoes? A bench is a perfect solution, and this simple version is easy to make with a miter saw, a pocket hole jig, and a drill. While it's the perfect place to lace up your boots, it also works indoors or outdoors as a plant stand or small coffee table on a deck, patio, or porch. I used pine to build mine, but you could change the look using a hardwood like oak or cherry. I originally planned to paint the legs an antique green color and stain the top, but those plans changed when I fell in love with this color called cherry red. I'll leave a link for the bench plan in the description box. Are your lawn tools scattered across your garage or shed? Mine were a disorganized mess. There was a string trimmer propped up in a corner over there. I just tripped over the leaf blower for the 3rd time. And who knows where the extra weed whacker string is? Guess I'll have to stop everything and search for it again. I was tired of my garage being a disaster zone, so I designed this wall-mounted yard tool organizer. Now I have a large storage shelf to organize my battery chargers and batteries, extra weed whacker string, extension cords, garden gloves, and more. Below are 5 customizable hangers to fit my lawn tools, like a weed whacker, leaf blower, hedge trimmer, and more. The best part is that I made it with a miter saw, drill, and pocket hole jig. When I originally published this project, I mentioned 2 mounting options, attaching it to the wall studs or using a French cleat. While I went with the French cleat for my rack, after a few years, the weight of my gas-powered trimmer caused the rail to loosen and the trimmer to fall. To avoid this issue, I recommend attaching the yard tool rack directly to the wall studs for a more secure hold. To get the yard tool rack plan or any of the plans in this video, please visit my site, sawsonskates.com, using the links in the description box below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up. It's one of the best ways to support my building plans.